Hey, take my hand again. Take my plant. Take my plant. Take my hand again. Take my plant. Read about it. Least is easy. Heavy clouded. Feeble knees. Like my step. No thanks. I'm impressed. Okay. I digress. Through my chest. Try my best, but you choose Simon says. Until you wanna say you run away. Till then I'm a silent sage. Light the way with marijuana haze. Hit a lot of pain, had a lot of weight. Ain't know how to talk about it. Kept shit for the hideaway. I felt safe knowing hiding places. Self-hate wear a lot of faces. Self-hate got a lot of hugs. Self-hate got a lot of patience. Self-hate got arranged with Dr. Strangers in some Cabo basements. I'm highly favored. If you try to bet on me, you'll see the odds are tapered. Get some good teeth movement. I was in a me movement. I don't feel bad about it, no. I just wanna be included. Now I know it's into it. Everything you need into it. I don't let it grow to head, that's the older legend. I don't feel stupid. My life built synagogue. I make shit fall from the fucking sky. I make money grow on trees. I make y'all ponder why y'all never go and touch the Z. I understand it's much implied. Why the fuck can y'all fuck with me? Why can't y'all fucking see? Light got you on a fucking leash. You try living like a leech. Now you're stuck living on a knee. Caught up in the king of disrespect. Should've seen how I summoned me. Summer breeze in a short effect. Yeah, now I gotta pump some keys. Yeah, now I got my lungs squeezing. Lush reason, fresh we can do this. I make me music. I make we music. I make we I make theme music. I make squeak. I make we music. I think we do this. I say we tune this. I say we brew this. I say we do. Ooh. Hey, ooh. Hey, ooh, hi. Ooh, hi. Hey.
Crash land, eagle down, false flag, lock it down. Last days it's evil now. War got the crown, got the 4 horsemen, famine and pestilence. I'm seeing dead bodies, I got that death sense. Hey, what's a half of 46? It's 23, I got that list. I put your name up in that shit, you die quick. That's a lick, damn, another lost soul just left this world today. And every time you die, that mean I been getting paid. They said he was sick, then said he legit, but then he died. It happened so quick, they clueless about this tragic twist, but really his name was on my list. That's how I go, that's how it is. When it's your time, you gotta dip. So when you die, they pay me chips. Reap your soul, I'm getting rich. They know I'm coming, no doubt. Never needed the clout. It's destiny, she meant to be. I'm always taking her out. She want my dick in the mouth. See what she talking about. They say karma be coming back, but I've been stuck in the house. It's like crash land, eagle down, false flag, lock it down. Last days it's evil now. War got the crown, got the 4 horsemen, famine and pestilence. I'm seeing dead bodies, I got that death sense. Hey, what's a half of 46? It's 23, I got that list. I put your name up in that shit, you die quick. That's a lick, damn, another lost soul just left this world today. And every time you die, that mean I been getting paid. The prince became king, now the boy is dead. He said he was loved, now they want his head. He was laundering money, must have been off his meds. They say that come in 3s, that means I'm getting fed. Never blue, carpe diem, left your ass on red. Drain your blood, feed the earth, lay you in your bed. Something like a deadly sin, but I ain't gluttony. All you gotta do is look up to know what's up with me. Crash land, eagle down, false flag, lock it down. Last days it's evil now. War got the crown, got the 4 horsemen, famine and pestilence. I'm seeing dead bodies, I got that death sense. Hey, what's a half of 46 is 23? I got that list, I put your name up in that shit, you died quick. That's a lick, damn, another lost soul just left this world today. And every time you die, that mean I've been getting paid. Bad. Alrighty. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your monthly peace report. We're back on track with this Libra cycle. Wow. That's how you feel? Really? Okay. Boom. This is March 25th, 29th. This is where the next eclipse is going to be after Pisces season. As you can see, this new moon is going to change everything. All right. And all of that is heavily dependent on your performance during this I Told You So tour part 2. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, the Peace Dealer. All right. One note real quick. I'm really grateful for you guys. The Death Sense video. I was never gonna shoot that video. Zay hit me up and he wanted to shoot some videos, do like a video for video shoot, and we just linking up every week now. We're gonna start doing meetups in like Sunset Park and stuff like that. But and the parade kicks in the new moon. We're gonna do the non-consent ritual. But like when he asked the song I wanted to shoot, I was not checking for Death Sense. I thought that was supposed to be a throwaway track. Like I didn't think people were checking for it like that. And that was the one he had in mind. So shout out to Zay. I had like other songs in mind, and then he shot it, put his magic on it. You guys showed mad love to it. So I appreciate you guys. Yeah, definitely, more music coming soon. We got the Death Hymn video done already. We just kind of making some edits, and we got like couple more videos out too, or not out, but done, made a song. But yeah, thank you. Keep a while. Exactly. No, I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Janarian. Shout out to all of y'all. Yeah, I do have a quick pick a card reading. Pile 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. The pile that you're gonna pick is going to let you know what your I Told You So tour is pretty much going to be. What's the theme and what's the outcome? The lesson you're going to accomplish and what to look forward to. This is the I Told You So tour. So deliberation and arguing incessantly is not needed, because your own actions are going to reflect the integrity of your beliefs, with which will pretty much show and break through from now to Sagittarius season the nature of everything you've been speaking on, all the shit that we've been talking. All right. It's getting ready to fulfill itself in terrifying fashion for those who have had confirmation bias and limiting beliefs to fit into their confirmation bias, like I mentioned before, that will now be destroyed by your own actions, which continue to demonstrate that, their beliefs were delusional. Boo fucking who. I told you so. Welcome, y'all. We have part 2. We were here last year. Last year was a lot through really showing receipts. Now, this year's version of the I Told You So, thank you guys, is more so, and I'm very honored to guide you all through this, is more so your actions. And happy birthday, D-Star. So welcome. All right. I hope you enjoy this solar return. Your receipts are going to be reflected through your actions, your behavior, which now integrate this resurgence of this new version of you. Resurgence, which is interesting because you are returning to who you used to be for the first time. All right. So like you're redoing something that you're doing for the first time to give you an insight of the illusion of your psychological perception of time. Regardless, I hope you enjoy the season. It's time to show your stuff. We are harvesting for the next 90 days. Any struggles that you came through during the summer was really just to highlight what you're going to overcome and break through over the fall season, which is the climax. It's going to sponsor the 2024 elections in the United States. It's definitely up for all of us. I'm glad to share this space with you guys as well. And yeah, y'all, it's like Wiz Khalifa said, back for the first time, back again for the first time. You know what I mean? It's this realization of yourself that you're getting ready to move forward, but you're doing it for the first time, but it's not the first time you've ever done it. Your existence is not started at your birth date, as you've existed before this incarnation, or whether it's just a thought form, a belief, regardless, congrats. All right. Clap for yourself. All right. This is, you made it. You're still alive. You're not dead. You're still alive. You somehow survived the first round of the Hunger Games. And Hunger Games round 2 is a 20-year installment from 2024 to 2044. If we want to say the first part was 2008 to 2023, thank you. Then, you know what I mean? This second round of the Hunger Games is actually the Squid Games. So, I mean, I'm sure it's also the culling games. So there's going to be an immense and intense culling of the world population. And, you know, you're going to use this awakening of this self you're becoming to dodge and maneuver through the fuckery and this transition of one old world system into the next world system. All right. For those of you who are more elderly, and I don't want to say elderly cheekily, for those of you who were born more in like the 70s or the 50s, this is not your first rodeo. The 60s to the 70s brought the previous Saturn and Aries. The 90s, specifically 95, brought that cycle back around. And now the cycles come back around 2025. All right. So much change is coming. Once again, I want to kind of show you that 6-month point from now, where we are going to have this epic, legendary, generational rabbit hole of change. Saturn, Neptune, North Node, right before the beginning of the New World Order. So, you know, prep yourself because, right? Did I call y'all elderly? This is going to first fulfill and harvest everything you've done since March of 2024. And as you come into completion of that, December and January and February, boom, we go down this portal that's going to really define the next 30 years, the rest of the decade, the rest of the millennium, the rest of the century. If you're born after 1995, you're up. If you're born from 85, 83, and through the 90s, what the Pluto Libra generation of 73 to 83 had to do to carry the world when Pluto was in Libra, it's your turn. Now that Pluto is or Pluto was in Capricorn, now that Pluto's in Aquarius, it's going to square your Pluto Scorpio like it squared their Pluto Libra. So I'm going to make the update Pluto videos per generation to let you know how effed you are. I'm just joking. How much we're finna thrive. All right, hopefully. All right, this culling games, this Squid Games, this Hunger Games round 2, they not playing. Like that first round was an entire beta test because they had to integrate an evolution of technology relative to previous cycles in order to test what realistically they can, I don't want to say get away with, but maneuver and manage. And now that they've gotten that locked in, it's going to be a total slaughter. And none of this is set to scare you. These population control mechanics happen regardless of who is in power. So it's not as simple as a group of elites who decide to control the population. There's principalities, there's powers, there's fallen angels, there's spiritual forces of darkness and wickedness that metaphysically influence everything you experience physically. And we're reaching an age where such rhetoric or talk is not going to be seen as fantasy bullshit, but now there's scientific literature that is now updated to make sense, because everything in this world can be explained by science. And Aquarius, my Aquarius uncle told me this before I even stepped on this journey, right? So, you know, we just don't have the vocabulary for it yet. And that's going to look like a mystery. to us. It's going to look like magic to us when it's just unexplained scientific rhetoric, considering we are only perceiving less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum. We have a new generation of children who are going to innovate every single scientific model and theoretical model we've ever created, which is the nature of science, to constantly edit and update itself. All right, disclaimer aside, welcome to the I Told You So tour part 2. We have the 4 piles, 1, 2, 3, 4. The underlying theme that we have here is the world, baby. You are graduating. Saturn. This represents the end of this world cycle. Look at where Saturn is. Pisces. All right. This is 2025. I'm tripping. It is currently 14 degrees. So you are coming into the culmination, as well as the, I love that, as well as the fulfillment and the completion of everything you've ever believed, everything you've ever learned, everything you've ever imagineered, in order to integrate behavioral patterns and habits that reflect your beliefs. So you can look forward to this season into coming into completion, fulfillment, success, and more success. All right. Notable affirmations to spam the F out of are, I'm an overnight success. Everything I do is blessed. Everything in my life is perfect. You can also spam the original ones we've done. I'm limitless. I have an unlimited amount of anything I could ever want to desire. I'm limitless. I have an unlimited amount of anything. Everything in my life is perfect. And then if you want to add attitude, you can be like, everything in my life is perfect, bitch or bitch. You could do the B-I-H, bit, or you could do the full B-I-T-C-H, bitch. You could be like a bitch or a bitch. All right. It's imperative you have attitude. That's what Jupiter and Gemini is for. You don't want to just talk smack. You want to talk smack with your pinky up. All right. It's Libra season. We're classy here. We're no longer as savage as we are in Aries. Now we're on the other side where we are developing the presentation of our character. So if you're savage, you're savage now. You're savage. Okay. It's a little different. And this is what throughout the next 30 days we'll begin to harvest the north nodal eclipse we had in Aries. Betch is also good too with the E. Don't sleep on that. Good looks, pals. So yes, with that being said, feel really great about yourself. Get ready to apply everything you've learned about your successes and failures or mistakes or things you've done right. And by all means, continue to move forward. Do not get stuck in the past, because we're getting ready to prepare for a most ridiculous rabbit hole. This also speaks to God power and potential. Any of you with God powers, you're further awakening it, you're further integrating it. For those of you with access to it around you, or some of you that have summons, because some of you don't have God power, but you have the ability to summon God power, like Final Fantasy, and being able to summon higher beings. Others of you are vessels or have conduit power with it. So once again, Jupiter in Gemini is expanding the vocabulary around how we make sense of these things outside of science fiction and fantasy concepts, because, you know, there's supernatural in the mundane, and you're supernatural, buddy. You have natural quality of your body, a supernatural nature of your mind, and we integrate it through our social dynamics with other people and harvest and breakthrough. So this is the breakthrough arc. This is going to be the climax of everything we've kicked off since March, April, and May. That being said, let's go into pile uno. Pile one, okay. What is the theme of the I Told You So tour part 2 for you? Well, we have the sun card, baby. You're going to be the main character, buddy. You're just going to be walking through like, I told you, hey, what's up? Remember they was talking that shit? Yes, remember they said I couldn't do it? Bitch, we here. Like that's you. This is your vibe. Like there's literally a marching band playing behind you. And you're bringing light everywhere you go. This is an amazing theme, guys. You're going to be walking around so happy because you're fulfilling everything that you've worked. Angelic, we have 4 piles. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So This is an amazing theme. This is going to have you really walk forward courageously and joyfully, this joy exuding from your own heart and soul, because happiness is not something you find, you create. And I just hate how cliche that just sounded right now, but it is an objective, true fact. So, yeah, this is definitely going to have you, you know what I'm saying, really express so much success relative to everywhere the light of your joy touches and who you inspire while walking around this I fucking told you so bitch. And the outcome we have here is y'all gonna be rubbing it in. We have the moon card. So pile one, you're definitely in flow. This is really interesting here. Sun and the moon. Sun, Pisces. We have the moon, which is the high priestess. The moon rules the high priestess, but then Pisces rules the moon. Confusing, I know, but what about Pisces isn't confusing, or the moon? Now we do have, respectfully, of course. Now we do have the moon card, which this light you are illuminating is going to, of course, reveal everything that's been hidden in the dark, everything that was never as it seemed. You're going to be confirming a lot of your dreams, and that light is going to shine itself in the recesses of your subconscious and unconscious mind to dissipate fears and illusions and to show you the metaphysical nature of what was beyond them the entire time. And it's important to know that this light comes from your consciousness that shines into your subconscious. The sun and the moon are alchemically seen to create that God, philosopher, stone connection. So I think this is really good for you, Pawan. This is definitely going to have you really enjoy this deeper exploration into the more unexplored parts of your soul, your psyche, and how you'll be mastering your psychic abilities. Elisha, you definitely enjoyed doing your transit report. Reaper Squad, shout out to those of you who will get invites to the next Reaper Association meeting. Next, we do have Pile Dose. Okay, shout out Lem the Gem. Shout out King Sigma. Shout out all of y'all. All right. All right, there we go. You have our full support for us, Fairy Tarot. Thank you. All right. For taking that step as well. It's nice to know that you have your son's back. So, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that develops and what precedents are established. Pile two, what is the theme of the I Told You So tour part 2 for you? Okay, we do have the Chariot. I like this. So pile 1 is moving forward joyfully. Pile 2, you're winning. This theme for you is forward momentum due to your willpower and determination to not give in to immediate gratification and distractions, but to keep pushing forward that momentum. So you are the victor. All right. Pile 1 is the main character. Pile 2, you're the winner. You're going to keep getting W after W after W. And that's how you're going to be. Like, Pile 1 is going to be telling people I told you so, because they're just going to be so fucking happy. And everything they touch turns to gold. It's going to be very joyful. Pile 2, you're just going to be winning in front of people. Like, they're going to see you win and then win and then win and then win and then win again and then win yet again and then win again and then win and then win and then win and then win some more and then win again and win so much more and then win and then win and then win. And it is the determination of your drive that's going to allow you to do this. You can even cop a new whip. Some of this is going to look like a new car for some of you. All right. Even if this drive is not just talking about your spirit and you know, your own direction, that's beautiful. And the outcome we have here is the Empress, baby. You're just going to be abundant and looking beautiful, just dripped out in all the finest linens and fabrics. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. All right, Empress, you got money on your mind. You can never get enough. The Empress is an overabundance of luxury, okay? And it's good to know that this luxury is gained by your own determination. It did not fall in your lap. The Chariot card is not a fall in your lap card. It's I wanted that, I took action, and I got that. And now I want that. This is probably not the best quote to say, but I'm a savage! savage. Anything I want, I have to get. I have to get. That's you, without the freak offs, the baby oil, and the bad press. You are in that mode, and it's going to have you really establish so much more value. And I like that because the Chariot goes out and gets it, and the Empress attracts. So you're having both, you know, expressive and attractive forces work in tandem, which is similar to that sun and moon. Okay, so you know, something to keep in mind. Baby oil isn't inherently bad. That is very true. That is very true. Everything and everyone I want wants me. It's a beautiful affirmation. So next we're gonna do pile 3. All right, so pile 3, what is the theme of this I Told You So tour part 2 for you? The theme we have here is the Fool card, baby. You are innovating and pioneering a brand new direction that no one has ever seen before. Okay, so it's you going on a brand new, exciting adventure that will require you keep an open mind and completely engage in fields and topics that may be completely outside your comfort zone or that you're not at all used to. So Pile 1 is the main character, Pile 2 is the winner, Pile 3, you're the revolutionary. All right, you're the innovator. You're going to be pioneering things that to other people look fucking retarded, like crazy AF. Just like investing in a shit ton of Bitcoin back in like 2015 when no one really knew what the hell that was. Like, you'd have to be crazy to invest in cryptocurrency. Like, are you crazy? Like, we keep our money physical over here. Bam, 2020, you up. Like, that's it. Like, and the thing about this with the Fool card is you're having to take a huge leap of faith in order to facilitate this. And that's going to be the way you say, I told you so, because you're pioneering something that you had a vision for, no one else could really see, but you were drawn to. And this is what's going to enable you to really, you know, step through this new, unique path. And the outcome we have of that is the Magician, baby. You're going to make the impossible possible. This unconventional new path is going to have you master skill sets and talent with which will beef up your manifestation ability. For some of you, this Fool path is instant manifestation, unconventional manifestation, being able to bring into fruition through your own skills and talents, you know, things people could have only dreamed of, things that people personally, you know, don't necessarily could ever think is possible. But the thing about Pile 3 is, out of all the piles, you all know how to think completely outside of the box. And you're so resourceful in that you can use any of your resources to make what you want to happen. So Pile 3, you're manifesting your vision and intentions. It's just the way you're going to do so is in a way that no one else could have ever thought literally possible. Next, we have Pile 4. What is the theme of this I Told You So tour part 2 for you? Well, we got the Star. Every card got heavy hitter. Okay, we got the Justice card. The Star's coming later. We got the Justice card. Libra. So you got the Affinity. The theme of this is quite literally balance and justice. Some of you may work for the law. You may begin to work for the law, whether as a vigilante or an official officer of the law, lawyer, prosecutor, defense attorney, court of public opinion. If this isn't through regular law school, this could also just represent having nonprofit organizations or whatever business you do. You're doing the Lord's work. You're providing balance for other people, right? In regular court, spiritual court, which is really just a courtroom filled with spirits inhabiting physical vessels, spiritual law, right? This is definitely going to influence very greatly the decisions you have to make. So Pile 4, you're going to make very powerful decisions that will forever shift the way you take action with other people and relate with other people. So pile 4, you want to write and draft contracts for anyone who you're doing business with. Make sure more than any other pile, you personally are on the same page with everyone who you are deciding to move forward with. And don't let the people be like, oh, do I have to sign a contract for just this small thing? Yes, they fucking do. All right. Like, you keep it legit here. But I feel like there's a deeper meaning to this justice card where you are going to be, whereas pile 1 is going to be bringing joy, you're going to be bringing balance to people's lives. Like, people are going to be coming to you to mediate conflicts. People are going to be coming to you to balance what may have been done wrong to you or other people. You're going to be able to stand on that and gain the justice that is necessary. And justice doesn't always have to be, right versus wrong. It could really be making sure that everyone is on the same page, everyone is holding each other accountable. This is definitely powerful victory due to mature decision making, and it's going to really speak to the integrity with which allows you to stand aligned with what's right, with your personal integrity, with justice itself. And the outcome we have here is the star. So you're going to be famous. Pile 4, you're going to be recognized. Pile 4, you're going to be known. Pile 4, you're going to inspire people with your spiritual beliefs. And that's the way you're going to say, I fucking told you, bitch, because you may have stood for something that is right in the way you behave or believe that could have been ridiculed, that could have been disagreed upon. This also really speaks politically as well. So you are going to be able to really, like pile 3, pioneer and really inspire as people really see the nature of your integrity. Pile 4, I feel like you're going to choose the right thing to do in a situation, whereas other people may have cut corners or whatnot, or it wasn't convenient. And, this is actually what's going to bring you so much success. All right. And I love that. Star and justice. Shout out to Cass. So there we go. We're going to now look into this Libra season. Notable dates we want to look at are 6 months prior, because we know 6 months prior, we had this eclipse in Aries season around March coming into April, where we, of course, had the original redefinition of the authenticity and unlocking of our raw original characters relative to October of 2023 that we are now harvesting quite accordingly relative to how we unlock relationships with other people, which align with this original new direction. Now, don't take anything personal, especially with weak and stupid little bitches. Chances are they are projecting their insecurity, bitterness, and frustration out on you because you, in living authentically to who you are, challenge their beliefs, challenge everything they may have known to be true. And now, instead of actually accepting that they may not know certain things the way that they wish they did, they have to just take out on you their frustrations. And that's what you've been dealing with heavily for the past 6 months, in the integrity of the beliefs that align this authentic self. And now you are harvesting with the social awareness of balance in Libra, more so, of course, how it is you're not only balancing who you have become, but now shifting relationships to where people that the identity you have been integrating since April, you're going to find over the next 30 days, people who do not align with that. Snip, 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 bye, bitch. Like, that's it. And it's in most, I want to believe in most cases, it's not going to be negative at all. It's not like, oh, we're falling out. It's that 20 years ago, 9 years ago, right? There were people who were destined to get you to where you were at. You were destined to help people get to where they're at. Shout out to Josie, right? 9 years ago, when the North Node was actually in Libra, if we actually look 9 years ago, you'll see the North Node was in Libra at this point, exactly 0 degrees, September 23rd, 2015, Jupiter was in Virgo, right? So if you go back to 2015, there were people, you know what I mean, that you had met, relationships you've developed. There was a style with which you presented yourself that was necessary for you to learn those lessons that you've learned. Fast forward to 9 years later, you are no longer required to maintain that persona. You have grown, you have evolved. Certain people who you were really cool with to grow with you then may not align with where you are taking yourself now. Certain people who you were around with then may align with where you're going now. And what you're going to find is that those who align with that post time skip are going to move forward with you. And those who don't align, you're going to depart from that archetype. Okay, the stuff you had to do back then versus what you're ready to do now, for better or for worse. This is natural. This happens every 10 years, regardless of what sign it's in relative to the flavor. All right. And personally, it puts you in a position to, in unlocking this new redefinition of who you are now through Libra season, step into relationships with people who you have been destined to partner with in order to move forward. So this is what's going to account for synchronicities, signs, development, movement with people who you felt you were meant to move forward with, and maybe it didn't work. If it starts to work, that's why, because now it's time to really segue towards there. Chances are, however, they were meant to reflect archetypes of the people who you will get into. Like they reflected the archetype of who you're meant to be with, but maybe didn't fully embody it. So when you meet that person, you're going to recognize it. When you meet these people, platonic, romantic, friendship, family, right? Even myself, some of you may realize that you've outgrown me, right? Maybe you're headed in a direction, your philosophy has changed, you no longer resonate with this. I'm glad that I was able to serve you up until this point. All right. Just like there are going to be people who are just newly, freshly joining Infinity Club. They're ready to move forward with where we are at now. All right. The negative part of this is to create attachments and to be like, well, how can you leave? No, nothing is forever except God. So, the time with which was facilitated, I hope you take with that and move with that, right? Shout out to the day ones and shout out to those of you who we locked in for life, baby, for eternity, Infinity Gang, Infinity Club. Let's keep killing it, right? But, honor your present moment and, allow yourself alignment and flow. So with that being said, okay, right? Now that we're moving forward with this, another thing that's important to mention, Venus is in Scorpio, by the way. Thank you, Mike. This personally is going to intensify and deepen the transformation of these new habits you've instilled. Chances are you are still underestimating your growth, especially if you're around people who may mean well or ain't shit and don't mean well, who reinforce negative lies, delusions, and projections about their idea of you. Because most people will at most get a slice of who you are. You experience trillions worth of experiences in just a day, if not like a month, right? If not years. And people will only get to see slices of that. People, as much as they will believe with consistent results of behavior, that they know you. The only one that knows you and your soul is God, all right, the universe. So with that being said, despite some accuracy in how people may know you, their vision of you, their idea of you, and how their idea of you fits into the box of who they believe you should be is entirely different from who you actually are. So this is going to really deviate relative to who you have become, relative to other people's attachment on who they want you to be. And it is in my sincerest hope that you disappoint every single one of those expectations, because no one on this planet is born on this earth to realize the expectations of other people, especially if those expectations are good for you, right? That's irrelevant. Like, you're here to you make the mistakes, the successes, the good, the bad, the ugly of your life. It's not for other people to judge. You should have done this like this. You should have done this like that. Especially if it's unsolicited advice you never asked for, with people who are projecting on you so that they can see through you the life they wish they can live, right? Whether you want to agree with that or not. All right. So this requires boldness that you learn from Leo, authenticity that you learn from Aries. All right, the ability to pop out and show N words that you learn from Kendrick and Gemini during Gemini season. So with that being said, this is what this is all for: 90 days worth of harvest. I think it's important for you to understand this is the first time since March 20th that you are harvesting your crops. And it could be very easy for some of you to be so discouraged because you were expecting results way before it was time, right? You activated and sowed the seeds March 20th. The solstice coming into June 20th, those seeds began to break through the ground. And after you began to integrate that, now you're harvesting it. And the harvest is going to complete January, December 20th, right? Once we come into the winter solstice, we've begun the completion phase where we now look at everything we've harvested. So you're going to break out and break through into greater definitions of your character. I want you to think that from March 20th, you have activated a brand new activity into developing a skill and ability, and then you've integrated it through the summer. So you've been practicing, and now you're at the playoffs. You're in the playoffs. For some of you, this is cuffing season. You're gonna be competing against all sorts of people to be with your boo or to stay with your boo. Because this cuffing season year is not like any other cuffing season that has ever existed. It's very competitive. All right. Personally, I'm a commentator and a coach. I don't compete in these things, but you notice certain patterns here, and it definitely puts you in a position to really come into so much growth of how much more powerful you hold yourself in relationships, which is why this first part of the I Told You So tour is going to be so empowering, because since March of 20th, you had the evolution with Jupiter and Uranus, and of course, you know what I mean, Venus that we had at the end of Taurus, right? Around this point. And let me actually bring it more. Yeah, there we go. Around this point right here, if we go back a week, this is one of the most important conjunctions we had this year: the Sun Saturn, the Sun North Node, and the Sun Uranus. Because then the opposition in Scorpio, Sag, Virgo, rather, Libra, Scorpio, and Sag with Jupiter are going to harvest all of this. Begin to harvest all of this. Okay. So there was this conjunction here. You had evolved how much more unconventionally you're worth. Jupiter went into Gemini, and you began to evolve the vocabulary around who you are, the mindset, the attitude. You're talking shit with pizzazz. So with that being said, we are now ready to present our receipts and present our findings. Okay. This was the purpose of Virgo season, that through the integrity of your beliefs, called your own self out on how you behave and what has to change about your behavior to align with this integrity beliefs as you ride around down Noah's Ark. So that once you go through Libra, you've gotten rid of those mistakes, because you don't want to be in the I Told You So tour and now realizing you didn't really, cover the mistakes revealed in Virgo, the facts that you had to. This only happened if you saw things you didn't want to see in Virgo season, and they went against your own confirmation bias, and you swept them under the rug. They're going to blow up Libra season, because now you're presenting these receipts. So regardless, you didn't do that. You're ready to kick ass and take names. And that's where the South Node in Libra is unlocking superpowers. We are harvesting this redefinition of your personal mission. And this breakthrough of character is now going to have you actually harvest what this mission is. So I've been using the analogy of track running, where Aries season was you, it's a great period to be proud of yourself as well. Aries season was you deciding, I'm a track runner. Yeah, after Pisces season, I saw a track meet, I saw someone break a world record, and I was inspired to start running track. Right. So Aries season, you went to the track field and you went to the coach. You're like, I want to be a track runner. And the coach laughed at your face, like, okay, that's what's up. Because you were all like, I'm gonna be the best track runner ever. And the coach was like, slow your roll. You know what I mean? Like, let's get some practice first. All right, you need this material. So Taurus season came, you got your cleats, you got your running shoes, you got all the material, you started to manifest the quality and value of track running. Gemini season came through, and this opened up, all right, do I want to be a sprinter? Do I want to be a long distance runner? Do I want to be a jumper? Do I want to do a little bit of all three? You know what I mean? Cancer season came in, and after you started to develop the abilities of your 200 meter, your triple jump, your 400, right? Which I think is a sprinter sport, but more long distance marathon races. Now you started to understand in Cancer how you feel. You started to now peel the layer back on how you will begin to fulfill this mission. All right. And this gave you deeper insight into what to feel about recent evolution. Then Leo season came. We started to actually go onto the track field. And this is where you ran your fastest 200 meter, with which you clocked in at a pretty decent 13 seconds, right? You did your triple jump. And you recognized what events you have actual talent in. This was you on stage, taking this evolution of your individuality since 2023 with Jupiter Aries, and now further integrating it on stage, talking that shit like, I'm here, bitch, and I'm about to tell all of y'all Libra season, blah, blah, blah. This naturally terrified the fuck out of people. And so all through Virgo season, they were doing everything possible to discourage you from exposing them this Libra season. You can see what it's beginning to look at like in real life, in real time. Oh, this Libra, ooh. This is Kamala Harris's season, by the way. So I would look to her. If she's going to do anything to secure this election, this is the season, baby. So they're like, I expect every psyop in the book to happen this month and October. All right, brace yourselves. Everything that has to happen to really secure results in November is probably happened September and will now apply itself. So protect President Trump at all costs. I'm not making this political. I'm not saying I'm for him or against him or for Kamala or against Kamala. But yeah, I think there's going to be more than just 2 attempts. All right. Because as we get closer to this, we'll see on both sides. All right. As far as the accusations of everyone who was at the Diddy party, once again, Poet Lounge, thank you for bringing that up. Please do not get distracted by these headlines. All right, because everyone is so caught up in the passion of canceling celebrities so we can feel like we have more power in order to like influence who's famous or not. And I mean, obviously also bring a voice to these monstrous accusations. The thing is, I would assume all of this is bullshit. I don't care if you saw Usher in a tape. I don't care if they're talking about Kamala was in a tape. They're talking about Michelle Obama and all this. Please remember, we were talking about Epstein's list a couple years ago, right? In the Diddy case, they have already started to remove higher executives from the lawsuit, right? So Epstein had an exhaustive list of everyone who was involved. What happened to that? Who has been apprehended from that list? You feel me? So I don't really expect anything. I feel Diddy might be at most a fall guy. I don't expect too much from this. That doesn't mean that stuff won't be revealed. I didn't say stuff won't be revealed. I'm just saying I doubt it. I doubt it. They didn't do it with Epstein. I don't think they're going to do it with Diddy, personally. All right. We did not see anything on that list, like, period. So this could be used as a way to distract you, get your hopes up, have you focus on stuff. You're much better off focusing on what you are doing with your life before any of this like trending stuff happens. So you're gonna have people who are gonna invest their focus on that, and come up sight shorted. Like you don't even know any of these people. Like this is just like gossip, right? Versus what God is promising in your life. We're on Noah's Ark. So like all these represent an old world system with people's past, you know what I'm saying? Catching up to them, right? And yes, it is not as much as a distraction as y'all think. I want to speak on what Sean is saying. The actual situation is not really a distraction, but just be careful of how they'll use this to distract you from what, as Sean is saying, there is a huge point in all this. So I do want to co-sign that. That is very true. And it will just open up more, distractions to divert from what about the Diddy situation you want to take away from it, because there is a huge lesson in this for everybody. And that is mainly just supposed to represent the sins of the ancestors in the old world that you and our generation and the next generation of children will not really inherit and bring with them. All right. For better, for what, that's not necessarily a good thing. New levels, new devils. So we're going to have our own set of issues to deal with, like a collapsing economy, several wars, and the rebuilding of society. Should this shit actually get nuclear? Please, no, please. All right. With that being said, guys, if you are ready to harvest the definition of your character, I want you to look at this as the playoffs. Virgo season, we took your talent in Leo season that had you run that 13-second 200 meter, and we perfected it. You were at the gym every day. You were Kobe Bryant in the gym. You're like LeBron. You came in before everybody and you left after everybody. Virgo is the consistency. Capricorn's philosophy is what? Virgo. So they look at Virgo and they're like, yeah, we do this shit every day. Okay. And that 13-second 200 meter turned into a 9-second 200. Does anyone run track? I ran track in high school. I forgot what's considered fast or not anymore. Is 9-second 200 even possible? I think that's fast for 100 meter. I think I kind of fucked that up. But like you somehow ran like, let's say your 200 meter was like 18 seconds, and then you perfected it to a 13-second 200 meter, right? You personally, not at all. Oops, my bad. Markel, thank you. I was junior varsity. I never made it to varsity. I was definitely junior varsity. Yeah, you'd have to be Sonic. I was finna say, okay, I was about to say, yeah. But regardless, I think I ran like close to an 18-second 200 and like a 13-second, 14-second 100 in JV. So I wasn't necessarily at all the fastest, but like, I was pretty fast. I won a 200 meter at my very last day of winter track. I was the second seed. I won the first place. And then I realized I crapped my pants. It was one of the most traumatizing and low-key hilarious periods. Like, imagine you win a 200-meter race. Yeah, it's about 18, 19 seconds. And then after the fact, you realize you crapped your pants mid-race. And now people are celebrating. And you have to move because it's like, oh, my God, I shit my pants. Oh, my God. And you don't want to stay still. It was crazy. And I told my friends for some reason, they gave me the nickname MC Poopy Pants. And when I told my friends, they looked at me like, mind you, supposed to be your friends. They looked at me like, why would you tell us this? Do you know we're gonna clown you for the rest of your life? And it was then I realized why. It is what it is. It is what it is. But yes, regardless, that was quite, shout out to Rohit. I remember his face, but he realized he couldn't believe it. But yes, bro, I had to go into the bathroom, and then there was a whole bunch of cheerleaders that were like across the hall, but I had to ask, where's the bathroom? And it was, oh, God. Like, yeah, that was a whole movie scene. But yeah, other than that, you have mastered these talents, right? And yeah, now it's the playoffs. Now it's time for you to perform and present what you have spent the past 6 months mastering. No,
Nobody smelled me because it was cold. I was outside, and the only one who kind of smelled me was my friend when I had to drive him back because he was in the car with me. And that was the most hilarious and just cringy car ride back home. I took a nice shower, and hey, I won though. I won first place on the second seat. Last day of winter track before spring track. Oh my God, I will never forget that day. Anyway, yes, it was my senior year of high school. So I was 17. I had turned 18 the next year when I graduated. So yeah, other than that, shout out to Young Flo. This playoffs is now going to be the harvest of the work you've done. And you're going to see this. Oh, I would have been done for, bruh. You're going to see this in how much more powerful, right, to you actually relate with other people. So your interpersonal relationship skills will be the first thing you realize has completely like leveled up and shifted. Not the way it will when Jupiter goes into Libra, but now that you're evolving your vocabulary with Jupiter and Gemini and the way you use your words, you're going to be aware of how those words directed towards other people impact those relationships. So the first 6 days of Libra season will set up the new moon and subsequently the eclipse. It's the decade subruled by Venus, and it will very powerfully, by the way, Trisha, thank you very much. I did get your Cash App. So for those of you who, of course, would like a live reading, you know the deal. Please join ZQ. Okay. This is also definitely getting ready to really very quickly situate all the receipts you've gathered through Virgo season. And just like Libra represents the law, right? Just to give you an idea, Aries is I am. So it's your own individual self, right? What is opposite I am? I balance, or we are Libra, right? So you have the first 6, which is all individuality. I am, I have, I think, I feel, I love, I analyze. This all represents you. The other 6 represents the fulfillment of that through other people. So there's your individual actions. Cancer is how you feel. Aries is your first name. Cancer is your surname. All right. Greatest forever. Right. And then, of course, the Libra, if we want to look at how this plays out, why does Libra put Aries in check? Because if I grab my penis and I go to a movie theater and I go to the front, I start whacking my meat, this is an individual action that is getting in the way of every other individual in the movie theater enjoying their experience. So with Libra comes compromise through balance, right? We all make a silent or vocal agreement that when we watch the movie, some jackass isn't going to start beating their meat in front of the movie screen. This is a silent, complicit agreement that balance with Libra allows us to coexist and through compromise, bolster the power of just one individual. Okay. Of course, with Cancer, this is going to allow me to feel my feelings. Bridged with Libra, I will start to care about how other people feel. So everything going towards the right side of the chart really focuses on the other, and everything on the left side focuses on self. Everything on the top of the chart focuses outwardly. Everything on the bottom, Cancer, focuses at home inwardly. All right. So Capricorn, I decide, is the collective representation where once we have disagreements, if someone were to slap you in the face with their boobs and you felt assaulted because you didn't like how someone's double D or C cup boobs smacked your neck and now actually misaligned your neck, you are probably liable for civil unrest. Now we go to a civil court. Your Honor, This lady irresponsibly smacked me in the face with her boobs, with her breasts, and I would like compensation. Now, two people have a disagreement with which Libra needs agreement, and it's Capricorn that enforces order so that it could be the judge to make these two people's decision be balanced equitably. All right. If I get slapped in the face with titties, I'm not suing. I'm going to be like, thank you, queen. Thank you, God. But see, other people may respect themselves and may have gotten hurt if they're next. So, you know what I'm saying? I say I don't respect myself, but shoot, if it's the right pair, I don't have any reason to sue. That being said, though, all right, as you can see, what you'll notice and I don't know anything about the law. I just saw a couple cases on the internet and I saw that they did this, right? But personally, there is a discovery phase before the trial begins and they let in the jury. You have the prosecutor and the defense attorney present evidence to the judge. This is a transparent process with which both parties can deliberate and argue with the judge if certain evidence is admissible in court. Before we use that evidence to persuade the jury, they're going to really argue on, no, that's not relevant, or objection, overruled, sustained. Once again, I know little about law. I'm just sharing a little bit I know. So that discovery phase is this first decan of Libra, where now all the receipts, the integration of behavioral patterns that affirm your beliefs you've had that were originally just beliefs and now you're living it, you're presenting that the first 10 days of Libra. Your Honor, we have this receipt right here. Yes, this is the receipt of the prosecutor saying that I would never achieve the success that I've achieved. As you can see, here is the receipt of the success. Objection, relevance, overruled, sir. These receipts check out. Ha! I told you so. Boom. I mean, you probably wouldn't say that in court unless the court is full of it, but like, boom, this is the discovery. And that's the most important part of Libra season, because Scorpio season is going to come through and you're going to pour so much sauce. Scorpio season is where we get a little petty with it and we start to be like, yeah, I told you so. So we're just adding sauce and intensity. And, this is where we rub it in. And then Sagittarius season is where we have signposts. I told you so, bitch, for attitude, bitch, you know what I'm saying? And this is where we go wild with it. We have amazing headliners for the last part of the I Told You So tour in Sagittarius season, all right? So Libra season is the detached point of classiness. Before we put the sauce on it, before we start dancing and Sag like, I told you so, Libra is mad objective. It's like, here's this receipt. Yes, all right, I want to present this receipt. Okay, this is a little discovery period. It's presentation of how it is we came in to integrate these habits with which you will be reflecting these habits, these receipts, in your relationships with other people. So the way you behave with other people over the next 10 days is going to really incorporate the maximum efficiency of how you can maximize this eclipse and the superpowers you will be indubitably unlocking. And I just said indubitably because I just like that word. So we do have the moon in Cancer, which is going to be the 270-degree completion of the previous new moon in Virgo. So by the time we have that Capricorn signature with Mars that will later go retrograde in Sagittarius, or Capricorn season rather, in Leo, this is going to help you understand what potency you feel you should move forward towards as you are aware socially of the application of these new habits you have long since harvested. You're going to see the results of how you feel about your current partnerships because now you've changed your lifestyle And the change of your behavior is going to change your relationships, or at least impact the direction you move forward. Shout out to Mo Khalifa. So with that being said, of course, we're going to have the trine to Saturn and Pisces while Mars is here. This is going to really align with this integrity of beliefs you've harvested and allow you to move and apply that completion forward that you feel you should do with other people. Mercury will get ready to catch up with the sun, and its opposition to Neptune is also going to wrap your brain processing around the dream, the stretching out of your imagination, and how specifically you integrate these patterns moving forward, with which they will be converted into potency as the moon goes into Leo, opposes, of course, Pluto, and we really get ready for this new moon. The moon in Leo is going to help you feel who is in your entourage, because the two main characters are Leo and Libra. That means if you have a Leo rising and sun or moon, or a Libra rising or sun or moon, you are two of the main characters. You have the lead role with Libra and the supporting role character. All right, with Libra, supporting role character is just as important as the main character because they bounce charisma off of the lead role. All right. And this is representative of the lead role being love and the supporting role being relationships that support love or value or currency, Leo and Libra. All right. So the moon in Leo is going to help you feel how courageous you are in order to present this definition of your character and who belongs around you. Beware of coercion. Once again, you're going to intimidate people who will pretend to be unfazed, act cool, but your actions are going against what they believe. So they're going to try and intimidate you. They're going to try and peer pressure you by criticizing, ostracizing. And all you need to do is just tell them to suck your dick. That's it. And now you're going to tell them with your actions. You can tell them if you want to, but your actions are just going to be saying SMFD, SMD, SMFD. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's basically what your actions are going to be saying. And it's just going to be you saying it with your chest. The quincunx that we have with Saturn, Pluto, and the moon will really intensify more so the golden quality of how you will be feeling who is around you to come into the rewards. Keep in mind, what day is this? September 28th. So one thing you want to keep in mind, the very rest of September is the completion of the previous Virgo cycle. So you're going to be reviewing how this change of your habits, this harvesting of supernatural techniques, you're directly applying in relationships with others. Let's say last Virgo season, you decided that you no longer smoke meth and crack because you're tired of meth mouth and crack just doesn't do it for you anymore. I feel like maybe it may have deteriorated some of your relationships. So with that being said, you stopped doing crack, cold turkey. You don't suck people's dick for meth anymore. And you've changed your whole entire life. Okay. Now the results of that over the rest of this month, you're going to start to see that the way you relate with people is not like you did when you were strung out on meth and crack. And you're starting to see the results of how you're bettering or directing your relationships. And now you're going to run into that old meth dealer. You're going to run into certain people who enabled these habits. And now you are understanding how they no longer belong around you. And you're connecting and receiving, people who support this walk of sobriety. I was going to say abstinence, but like sobriety. You feel me? And this, of course, is going to lead into that moon in Virgo, where you're reevaluating your life as someone who was helplessly addicted to crack. Now, what's very important here, and this isn't said as a joke to make fun of addicts. This is real deal in the field. All right. This crack addiction could be analogous to your addiction to other people's approval. Some of you will never admit that you are addicted to other people's approval like a crackhead. What do you think about this? I don't care what other people think, but that person said this. So this is, I'm just using that as an analogy, but it's really real like that, okay? And like you're releasing that. By the time the moon comes into Virgo, we want to look at the sun conjunction to the south node, because that's going to very powerfully show you and activate this unlocking a superpower right in time for your brain to catch up in being able to process what that actually entails. All right. As the moon is in Virgo, you're now releasing those habits of, wow, this time last month, I was just facing grams of meth, doing nothing with my life. I was just like nearly overdosing on crack cocaine. And now it's all out of my system. And now you're transcending old habits that personally, okay, you realistically have released. It's important to note that Mercury, now conjuncting the sun, is your brain catching up to your awareness. So we're going to talk about this when we do the Mercury in Libra snapshot transit report. All right. The significance of that, of course, is going to more or less speak towards the brain processing that when we went retrograde was the bird, which gives you information, and it came back and said, hey, this is what you're going to be aware of moving forward. And then the bird went backwards to reevaluate everything you were consciously aware of and just update its processing. Then it caught up through Virgo as it now reintegrated these habits. You consciously integrated these habits, and then your brain behind integrated this in the way you actually think about it. Now it's caught up again. So now everything you've reevaluated, that bird, that messenger is giving you the note, hey, we caught up. And now that bird is going to move ahead, and your brain is going to now process information ahead of you being consciously aware of it. So it's like now at this stage, once we come into the end of September and we have that conjunction opposite the North Node, which is very important, this is what's going to now have you spread that bird ahead. And you're going to start to pick up information that later you will be aware of in terms of who you're relating with, word traveling as far as who you will soon be conscious of partnering with. All right, dynamics like that. Mercury will next retrograde in Sagittarius season at the end of the I Told You So tour. So this is going to really work towards the ascension of our brain and consciousness moving forward, which we do every year. All right, ascension just meaning we're seeing higher. We're coming into a higher perspective because we're harvesting 6 months prior worth to activation integration. Be very mindful of condescension from others, classism, you know what I mean? Once again, peer pressure from weak, stupid little bitches who cannot look themselves in the mirror and understand what about them may be causing them to have friction with you and just blaming it on you. All right. Because if there was anything as an issue with you, they would demonstrate that. They cannot demonstrate the truth of that without repeating circular logic. They're the problem. They're just taking their frustration out on you. But this is clapback season. So with the proximity of Pluto squaring this Libra, you will see more people drop dead because they try to throw black magic on you. They try to put you in situations that turn other people against you, only to be kind of exposed for being weak, stupid, little. There you go. All right. So at this stage, once we step into the new moon, we are in eclipse territory, baby. Okay. 1st of October, 2nd of October. And I want you to see 10, 10, 10, 11. South Node, Sun, Lilith, Moon, Mercury. This is going to make for a very, very, very spicy and erotically sexual new moon eclipse. All right. It's important to note that Chiron, or Lilith in Libra is not Lilith in Aries. Lilith in Aries is I'm going to pour honey all over myself while I also am dressed provocatively and I'm oozing sex appeal that makes you want to rip your clothes off. It's a very raw, erotic expression of one's sexuality that is highly taboo. Lilith in Libra is now dating somebody and taking your leg and rubbing your leg across their leg under the table. Yeah, did you like the weather today? Yeah, it was hot. All right, it's a lot less raw. It's a lot more intellect based. It's speaking saucy. It's nuances that I'm oblivious to. I don't have any Libra in my chart, but will definitely influence the cycle with which will test your authenticity in these relationships and present a whole bunch of temptation that also, it's all about the game. Thank you, Savage. Will perfect your game and personally also make you a temptation to many people. All right. And can bring relationship dynamics with people still in relationships or people leaving relationships before you just put in the sauce. Mind you, Venus will be in Scorpio and it will get ready to trine Saturn. But what we want to see is the light square to Mars. You are challenged with Mars and Cancer to make sure you're acting sincerely, because there's going to be what you feel like doing, but then there's going to be what you see. Like Mars and Cancer is you not wanting to go to a party that is new in Libra, right? And it's just like you don't feel it, but you push yourself to go. And because you went, you met someone new and it ended up being more fun than you expected. Or maybe you just weren't feeling it, but you still challenge yourself to go. Venus will also get ready to trine its lover Mars, or its F buddy, and really intensify the sincere understanding of metahuman psychic potential that you will be activating in your psyche. And so that's going to really serve as a foundation with the Libra planets and luminaries in order to now take social action that represents the balance of your own sincere individual actions. All right. So very important, because your brain, your subconscious, your conscious mind are all tapped in towards activating a new cycle of partnerships. Let's go back in time about a year, because a year ago we had this eclipse already. Boom. And Mars was in Libra and it was at the end of Libra. So that was what really kicked in the train tracks to reposition. This is after the fact. All right, now we're getting ready to move forward. So what we want to talk about a little bit with Lilith is also being more open with your sensuality and sexuality. And I think it's going to surprise you how much more seductive. Like that's the really cool thing about Libra season. I guarantee you, like Mr. Miyagi, I've never seen the Karate Kid, but like you made that trope of going through a montage scene and you not realizing how much more powerful you are until you're actually whooping ass. And it's like, whoa, the training paid off. This is a training paid off moment. All right, you're activating that cycle. The way you relate to others is going to account for how your abilities have evolved. The way that you behave around others is going to account for the supernatural nature of techniques and your lifestyle that will be integrated in these partnerships. And this is going to be the breakthrough of the individual mission you are meant to actually do. So if that mission relative to you running track, well, you started that mission in April, but the actual fulfillment of that mission is the playoffs, where you're just meant to place. You don't have to get first. You just have to place in that playoffs. You have to get an actual position. You pass that first part. All right. Don't let anxiety around failure bog you down, because you're not a failure. So keep that in mind. This is going to impact unique archetypes of partnerships. You're going to move forward in unlocking the character necessary to move forward with this redefinition of your individuality and authenticity. That being said, of course, the moon will oppose Chiron, harvest that sense of vulnerability before going into Scorpio and then manifesting the wisdom and pure quality of this new action. Okay. So, with that being said, you're going to, during this I Told You So tour, actualize through your actions with others things that were said about you out of jealousy, out of frustration, out of a disbelief in what you practice, actively be debunked by your actions. It's going to make people big mad because by the time the moon is in Scorpio, you're understanding the sauce to pour on it and be like, I told you. Venus is going to be like, I told you so. Like, it's going to help you add like the deep runs and stuff. So this is very pure because now this is the wisdom of the unlocking of this power and the direction you're taking these partnerships you're destined to establish. Oh, another thing to keep in mind, be very mindful of who you're talking to, of who, what you're doing or who you're doing stuff with. Power and energy like this, unknowingly to your consciousness that is limited in an illusion of time that's already happened, but we have yet to experience, is going to have you personally meet people and develop relationships with people who you may be meant to work with and connect with for the next 20 years, for the next 10 to 20 years, for the rest of your life. So you could be around and establishing connections with people you may not be aware you'll never speak to again, or you'll be with for the rest of your life. So this is where during this new moon Libra cycle, these are going to be the partnerships you want to be mindful are only coming up because you're destined to learn something important about how you maintain your authenticity. And that's the temptation of Libra. Don't let all the work you've done to align with your authentic self go into the trash because you want to be popular to other people. Because you're going to come into certain relationships and they're going to draw you away from what you've decided is authentic to you. And the challenge of North Node Aries is you're taking your identity to a direction that is not popular. Like, it's not colloquial. It's not necessarily what is relevant to society. It's you. You're going to later make it relevant because you are pioneering it. So if you're connecting your relationships with people, the North Node isn't in Libra. The North Node in Libra will be get over yourself and compromise with what other people are showing you. The South Node in Libra is don't lose yourself trying to fit in, because you will basically lose everything you came into this for. Purpose, not popularity. You can get both purpose and popularity, but just prioritize one, all right, over the other. Subconscious energy for sure. The moon in Scorpio is going to intensify this, especially opposite Uranus, which will now harvest the transformation of the innovation of how specifically you sense energy through your 5 physical senses. Boom. Then we step into the third stage activation with the moon in Sag, which is going to show you the higher understanding of what power you're activating. It's going to show you the direction you're taking these relationships. Mercury is going to be opposite Chiron, which is going to harvest the previous 6-month arc where Mercury was on Chiron, retrograde. And you activated all those cycles. Now, 6 months later, you have a much more classy approach towards expressing how you've overgrown and outgrown previous vulnerabilities and can really heal people much more directly. Thank you. I needed that. I was talking mad shit. It's cool. Don't worry about that. So you know what I'm saying? But with the pinky up, you feel me? So it's very beautiful because this puts you in a position to come into a higher understanding of seeing into the meaning of your partnerships with people. And new moon in Libra is activation of new power. Aries is new raw original power of your identity. Cancer is new psychic power and understanding your identity. And then Libra is new superpower, aka social power, aka integrative harvest of your individuality relative to what more can you do with other people and how much more stylish can you do it too. Okay. Shout out to Bliss. And this definitely puts you in a position to come into a higher visual of not only what this means, but in now challenging Saturn and Neptune, how also this should align with the integrity of your beliefs so that you can continue to adjust the perspective and direct this direction of this into the direction that is right for you and that you should and are destined to take it. Then we're going to have the first quarter square. So the seeds that you actually planted in the ground will begin to break through the ground. Another thing to keep in mind, at this stage, you've activated your new superpowers that you're meant to unlock relative to the supernatural abilities you've been integrating. So now you're doing it with other people. However, now you can't stop the I told you so tour. So there's going to be more effort to stop you, whether that's trying to kill you, whether that's trying to assassinate your character, which is why you have to maintain authenticity through all of that. All right. False ultimatums with the moon in Capricorn. So there is going to be more resentment and bitterness that you're going to be exposing millions of people, not by pointing the finger and being like, I'm exposing them. These people live a certain way. You live this way. The way you live indirectly exposes the bullshit they've been doing, because people are going to look at what you're doing. They're like, wow, if you're doing this, what the hell are people doing this for? Who are they going to resent? You. So just keep that in mind. You are no one's bitch. You are kicking ass and taking names. You're adding dates to the tour. And this is where that new power you planted the seeds for will break through the ground and begin to integrate the understanding of control and integrity around how you balance these partnerships, how you are developing this social persona, and how you are, of course, breaking through. All right. So that's definitely also going to lead into this awakening with the moon on Pluto. And it's definitely going to influence how much more powerfully you're in a position to realistically and tangibly, of course, organize the shifting of what direction to take things, coming to, I think, a very important day in this transit and season, which will be the trine, the grand air trine of Jupiter, the sun, and then the moon. So you're going to know what to do with other people. And this expansion of your vocabulary is going to link relative to the application of this evolution of your mindset and mind state, and how you apply it directly to other people, where the moon in Aquarius will now extend knowing what to do and say. All right. It's going to integrate supernatural knowledge and energy around the integration of newly unlocked superpowers. Jupiter is sextiling Chiron. The sun is going to harvest this activation of healing that was done in April, so that you can harvest the nature of this personal individual healing and how it affects other people. All right. Shout out to y'all. So this now coincides with Mercury squaring Pluto. And this is your brain ahead of your conscious awareness, processing your social dynamics with other people. And this completion of breakthrough relative to how it is awakening greater intensity in your integrity and supernatural power you've been awakening. So the mini boss battle here is to not forsake integrity, but to also maintain balance as you're having to break through this extreme trial. All right. So this can bring a lot of intensity, disagreements, arguments, but the whole purpose of that is to just maintain conviction through this pressure from other people, peer pressure from the collective, relative to, of course, what it is you truly believe in. All right. That being said, the moon will begin to integrate in Pisces, okay? And this is what's going to help you understand the formation of your dream life. It's going to integrate the totality of collective beliefs you imagine support how it is you should relate with other people, all right? And that, of course, will lead into the full moon. The full moon, with which will sponsor Venus going into Sagittarius, and of course, more harvest of these original healing powers that will play out uniquely to you, like everyone has a unique thumbprint or fingerprint. So that's what's going to bring the lunar eclipse. And relative to the new direction you're unlocking in partnerships to align with your authenticity, it's going to come back around and help you understand the authenticity you're maintaining to now, of course, harvest the potency of this new direction in partnerships. It's going to help you understand the identity of these new superpowers you're unlocking. If every year you update your firmware and you unlock a new super, you activate a new superpower. But of course, with the North Node, the activation is unlocking with the nodes powers you've had your whole life, revisiting early childhood with the South Node and all that good jazz. All right, boom, we go into the moon in Taurus, and that's what's going to transform over this Uranus aspect the natural quality of said partnerships. Who you now trust more with Mercury that is now processing the wisdom of the value of these partnerships relative to who you trust with your own unconventional value, and how you'll be harvesting transformation of all the goals you've had set since March, April, and June. Okay. Venus in Sagittarius is going to begin to light things up and polish how much more wild and joyful you can see into the meaning of these, dynamics, especially socially and collectively. And then the moon in Gemini, which is how we started this transit, is going to bring you into, of course, a higher understanding of the true meaning of these partnerships, wrapping back around this expansive vocabulary to align with your beliefs so that this adjustment of perspective can be applied, you guessed it, to your relationships. The sun will be squaring Mars, revisiting this sincere action and how you can apply it with relationships, while we are coming into the 270-degree activation that we had. Remember, 29, that's why this is important. Where were you guys? Of course, January 19th. This was this year where we had the awakening of God power at the peak. This is the end of the Hunger Games, part 1. All right, this is where we activated and sowed those seeds. Then we had the Venus, Mercury, and Mars conjunction in Aquarius. Well, check this out. Of course, by the time we now step into 29 degrees Libra, this is what's going to accordingly now conclude and complete what we initially conjuncted. So this is the last point of harvest, all right? The harvest that we started to do, 0 degrees Leo sun opposite 0 degrees Aqua, will complete at this point. The completion is you at a peak level, seeing how this awakened God power has served to transform and shift your relationships. Well, because you've harvested supernatural goddamn power and energy, and you've integrated it with other people, and it's showing you the success of what you can achieve with this new cycle of partnerships. Once again, be mindful of people feigning ignorance. Like, there's going to be so many people looking at what you do and doubting it. Do they have the experience doing what you do? No, don't take it serious. Do they even know what you do? If you were to ask them what it is you do, can they actually accurately say it? No, don't take them serious. Don't take any of this personal, because a lot of your actions will hurt other people. Not because you're hurting them, but because it hurts their pride. It hurts what they have attached to and believed. And you get to see who someone truly is when they realize they're wrong, or you tell them no. It is what it is. All right. So we have receipts and testimonials, baby. This is a real fact. This is a real fact. So you will have now come into the end of presenting that. And that brings us to the end of Libra season, where, of course, the moon will be in Cancer. We have that 29 degrees with now Pluto that's direct, mind you, and will never retrograde back into Capricorn and won't even be in Capricorn in another 248 years. That's 2.5 decades, baby. It's 2.5 decades, baby. All right. And then we have this grand water trine to prepare for, of course, Scorpio season, where we turn up the sauce and we step into part 2 of the I Told You So tour. Part 2 is where we add the sauce. This is where we start to rub it in. This is where we start to get petty. This is where we start to really get disrespectful. And we're like, yeah, you were talking all that shit about this. I told you, but we're not there. We need to keep it civil in Libra first. An objective, detached presentation of receipts through our behavior we've integrated that pushes you forward. Many people will have problems with you, but they will not be able to demonstrate in how it's based in reality because they're stupid and they're delusional. So they're stupid because they would rather make up beliefs around what they don't like about you, but they won't put the work in to actually ground it in reality and demonstrate how. No one who does not demonstrate how should even waste time in your brain. You shouldn't even take those idiots seriously because they're just taking their frustration out on you because they're weak. All right, they're weak. We have testimonials, we have receipts, we have actions, we have demonstration. That's why I don't argue tarot. I don't argue astrology. I will demonstrate it. I don't give a fuck if you listen to this scientist, you suck their dick, who gave you hearsay about some inconclusive bullshit about astrology not being real and you're using persuasive definitions. I will just demonstrate it. I will read your chart. And then you can lie to me and tell me it wasn't the best reading you received. I'm that good. I don't take WOB seriously. We will ask the facts. You're going to tell me you don't believe in it. I'm going to ask you, how many years have you studied natal charts? You've never done that. Have you ever interpreted a natal chart? You've never done that. Do you know what the terms are? You know what it's trying? You've never done that. You're going to tell me, I don't have to study it. I know it's fake, but you don't even know what it is. That's what I'm saying. You're going to just demonstrate and be like, here's your chart reading. Take it. You don't have to pay me. They looking stupid. And I told you so, bitch. There you go. That's why I will continue to say, you don't want me on your live video. None of these skeptics want me on their podcast because I will embarrass them. I will read their chart. They will have their echo chamber of people, whatever. And there will be stuff I say on that video that will come to pass because I really do this. And that's it. I told you so. Thank you. You will see a live massacre live on TV with the chart reading. And that's the Virgo mastery of skill. I don't need pre-edited clips. We can do this live on national television. We can do this live on national television. We've mastered this. I told you so. Show proof and crack a smile, baby. And yes, for those of you who would like a live reading, click the description box below. And I will, of course, look into what this is going to mean for you this Libra season, or how this, integrates with your transits. Shout out to Joyce. My sale is over. For those of you who have a 50% off code because you've had a reading before, I don't think some of you know that. If you've ever gotten a reading from me, I attach a 50% off code. So that's lifetime. Whenever I don't have a sale, you can use that. Other than that, we're back to regular prices. And yeah, we're going to go into the live reading. So Trisha, thank you very much. We see you're born in 91. I love that. Congratulations, Saturn Aquarius gang, for your Saturn return, whether you were born in the 60s with this or the 90s with this. All right. We know that your sun is 0 degrees Libra. So happy solar return. It is your birthday today. Very beautiful. You were born on the full moon at that, which is the original artist. I love that. All right. Like Cardi B, like T.I. This is like, shoot, even like Kamala, Moon Aries, Sun Libra. But regardless, this originality and artistry is being unlocked with the nodes. And this puts you in a position to integrate. Yes, for those of you who want to use Super Chat, you are more than welcome. For those of you, Trisha, you're going to be integrating everything that you've activated since April and May and March, with the eclipse in your first house, unlocking this original direction relative to now how you're going to transform your partnerships and relationships moving forward with other people. The eclipse and the nodes are on your 6-degree vertex, and the new moon is going to be right next to your DC. So this is a fated point where you can look forward to over the rest of September. Christopher Brown, you can click the description box below for the minimum. Over the rest of September and coming into the beginning of October, you will facilitate people who are meant to meet you, people who you're meant to move forward with. This new cycle in your 7th house is going to activate partnerships that you're not only destined to move forward with, but since you're destined for greatness, and this is where if you're born 91, 92, that North Node in Capricorn is going to switch those train tracks, because yeah, you're destined to really align authentically, but you have your personal mission of being destined for greatness, innovating and pioneering new forms of success with Uranus and Neptune here. And that square to your 10th house, while Mars is in your 4th, is going to redefine and resituate how much more comfortable you are coming out of old comfort zones. And of course, polishing the talent of people who come to you to come into a makeover, come into more unlocking of their talent, come into more balance in their life, as you are the embodiment of the high priestess in its originality and its authenticity with the Aries moon and rising. So Venus will be going over your Pluto as it goes through Scorpio, and then we'll touch Sagittarius, and you do have Venus in Leo. So as it squares from Scorpio, it's just going to bring that golden creativity and intensify how you transform your intimacy with other people. Mars will be squaring your Mars in Libra, which will just be reshifting how much more potently you take what you feel comfortable sharing with others and moving forward accordingly with those other people. All right. So it's definitely a very powerful 7th house revelation. Your Mercury return is being had right now. It's going to wrap your mind around that as well. And Pluto is going to go over your Saturn coming into the rest of this year to reawaken that element of your karma. Okay. So Trisha, I hope you look forward to that. Joyce, Mama Joyce, we know you are embodiment of perfection, Virgo rising. Your sun in the 10th is now leveling up your career. And that's the coolest thing for Virgo risings and Virgo suns. Jupiter is in your 10th, or it's making a 270-degree angle to your sun or moon if you're Virgo moon. So this 10th house Jupiter aspect throughout the rest of the year, love you too, is literally evolving your business. It's evolving your presence that you put yourself out there with, helping you luckily, create your own luck and score more opportunities. So why is this important? For the first time since Jupiter has been in your 10th house, okay, this is going to be trickling into your 2nd house. Thank you, Christopher. And it's going to influence very powerfully how it is you personally manifest, okay? And not only manifest, as a Virgo rising, you have social value. The way that you make money is in bridging partnerships with other people. And now with the South Node here, it's going to be unlocking how it is you take your social value and point it towards who you invested in, where your Aries moon is, and will really feel how to really add to your own resources and have other people trust you with their resources. So the best way to maximize this time is to take action that you feel inspired to take relative to what you have decided with this 10th house Gemini you want to do and achieve with your business, and connecting with all the relevant players and playmakers who are going to push that forward. And Libra season will unveil who that is every day of this season. So literally just by being yourself. And the reason why that's also very key, and the reason why that's also very important, is because this is going to really secure a significant improvement and shift in your finances, as this is going to be your second house. And you actually have Jupiter in Gemini, because like Kanye West, you were born with the Jupiter sun. So this is not only a Jupiter return, this is going to be you cashing out on this expansion of the idea around success for you. Like, you are not only the success story, you literally, it's like people level up just being around you. So I need to visit you, Joyce. Like, we need to link up for sure. We need to make some moves. But regardless, Libra in your second house is fifth house to your Gemini sun. So this is going to realistically expand and manifest the value of your creative social talents. And you will see a reversal as far as money. I mean, the fluctuations, especially we as Gemini go with money, is going to be overcome the rest of the year, because adjustments had to be made to account for new things we're doing to make money. And now, of course, this will balance through Libra season. And that's what the new moon in your second house will fulfill, this new cycle of partnerships that add to your worth, the confidence you gain in taking this action, as Virgo season, of course, harvested this change in behavior and how it is you express yourself. You may remember also be preparing to get married, enter serious partnerships now that Saturn is transiting your seventh house. So this is definitely preparing Goat Squad 88, 89, 90. This is definitely preparing you not only to move forward, but to manifest the unlocked nature with the South Node of how you're going to build this social value. This is going to square Saturn in Capricorn to make sure it aligns with the integrity of this grounded sense of creativity as you get ready for your Mars return as well. Okay. Saturn in your seventh is also business partnerships, divorces, but more so raising the standards of partnership. Like, Saturn in your seventh is like, you don't even mess with bums anymore. Like, you never messed with bums, but Saturn in your seventh will cock block you. Even if you like the person, if that person is a bum, like, it's not gonna work. You could believe in them. Saturn's gonna be like, no, princess, no, they're not good enough for you. So, like, something to keep in mind. And that being said, I think it's going to really do a lot towards this. Yes, I will keep this up for the rest of the day in case some of you missed it, or you want to catch up. When I do the monthly tribe report tomorrow, I'll make it exclusive again. So yeah, something to keep in mind. I think this is going to, you restarted the cycle September, so you're going to manifest and move forward, which will bring greater creative expression. So Christopher Brown, let's go. 235. Thankfully, I have your chart, Beverly, Massachusetts. Gemini rising, brother, you're an angel. Jupiter is 20 degrees retrograding in Gemini. You have officially began your brand new 12-year cycle that you last started 2011. All right. So as an angelic embodiment of truth, right, this is enabling you to reset and reestablish this evolving thought process around yourself. Jupiter's going to retrograde, and it's going to go direct after the end of the year, and it's going to go back to your first. So while it is still in your first, retrograding out your first, this fifth house transit, being born in 81, gives you Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Libra. And the reason why this is key is because Pluto is opposite your sun right now. So for anyone born like July 23rd at the beginning of Leo, and then like July 18th near the end of Cancer, what does that Pluto opposition feel like for you guys? Because Pluto retrograding opposite your sun. With your sun, we both have second house suns, right? So we both bosses. You feel me? You manifest holy power, bro. You have the ability as an angel, obviously, to manifest holy spiritual power. So Pluto is reawakening the intensity of how that transforms your dealings with others, and how that can cause other people to be evil as fuck towards you, like lack integrity, because your spirit is seeing them. So what boundaries have you drawn since 2023? Pluto's retesting those boundaries. The opposition was an MF, especially for Cancers. So you're retesting those boundaries to secure more wealth, mind you. Jupiter will come in here next year, evolve your capital, right? So now that it's in Libra, you have finished integrating the analysis and the details that support the idea about who you are. And now you're going to apply this change of behavior, that you are resituating your comfort zone around how you live your life and how you apply that towards other people. What kind of creative social talents will be not only expressed as a result, but as a late Cancer rising, what comfort around the expression of these social talents and how it is you really express yourself and integrate that socially will come as a result as well. And that's where the eclipse, the first 4 days right now, the rest of September, the sun's going to go over your 4-degree Jupiter and your 4-degree Saturn. We could say like the 27th, right? We're going to have the eclipse pretty much right next to there. So it's going to unlock this very powerful facet that in the 4th house region will unlock a different zone of comfort, or a different comfort zone. But it's going to make you uncomfortable so that you can resituate how much more comfortable you are with this extra growth. What we also want to look at, though, is those of you born in the late 70s to 80s, you're having Saturn oppose your Saturn, right? But you're having Uranus oppose Uranus. Those of you guys with Uranus and Scorpio, Uranus has opposed that. So as Venus and subsequently the sun in Scorpio will oppose that, which you have natural healing transcended in the 12th, this is going to unconventionally innovate how much more automated you're able to transfer that deep psyche and psychoanalysis into natural sensing. All right. It's going to make for a more uncanny ability to just intuitively read people's body language and pick up such more subconscious, influences and insights. All right. But that 4th, 5th house region of Libra is resituating your comfort around relationships with other people. You absolutely have more time. And it's going to direct how much more creatively you can express this evolution of your character. As we get to the end of Libra season and it trines Jupiter near your 1st, and you're going to feel more boldness and courage and fun expressing how much you've evolved about who you think you are. And of course, with the square to the end of Libra to Pluto, that's also going to square your Cancer. This is going to integrate and break you through how much more powerfully your spirit power affects other people. 2nd house Cancer, the way you have it with the Pisces moon, so it's divine spirit power, is like holy water. When you manifest this aspect of your Holy Spirit, the demons go. So this is going to really make more creatively how you do that. My Venmo address should be at the Peace Dealer. My apologies. Okay, yeah, it's in the description box below for those who want that. But yes, so that's what we got. Okay, for you, brother. Oh wow. Okay, so Donta, right? North Star. Thank you, sir. Virgo sun, Aries moon, Cancer rising. Let's talk about it. As a Cancer rising, all right, this Libra season is going to be your 4th house. Mars, that's transiting your Cancer rising, is having you embody this god of war, adding more assertiveness, especially as it was in Gemini in your 12th. If you felt lethargic, less of energy, now we're resurging this energy. As a Virgo sun, you had your solar return. Now Libra season is manifesting the power of your behavior, of your mastery. So because Libra is 30 degrees from your Virgo sun, you're going to be aware of this financially. You're manifesting money. But as a Cancer rising, that 30 degree falls in the 4th house. So you're manifesting a new comfort zone around how much more powerfully you can produce value, your awareness of that. Or you can also see this as you are integrating your awareness of what this new comfort zone is worth to you. All right. This can open up work from home opportunities as well, as it will update every year. But relative to, of course, you having the Cancer rising, this fourth house eclipse is taking this foundation of social support that will work towards the success you're destined to achieve. Because if your MC is not in Pisces, as a Cancer rising, it is in Aries. So if it's in Pisces, the North Node will hit it next year and will already prepare with the North Node in your 10th house in Aries. So this is going to unlock relationships with people and the value you feel at home with moving forward and working with people towards the authentic, original direction that will secure success you are destined to achieve. Uranus in your 11th is innovating the quality of the rewards you gain with the wealthy associates who invest in you. And that's going to reflect with Venus opposite that in your 5th, which will now transform the psychoanalytical nature of your own skills and behavior. All right. So I think you could look forward towards activating partnerships that you're more comfortable with, that bring you out your comfort zone, that challenge you to come into the success you're meant to, especially with any artistry you're doing, right? I think this is going to really, over the next 6 months, grant you greater visibility. And your moon is in Aries. So you're going to feel what authenticity you should maintain as you're aware of who is in your social circle and how this is adding value to you or not, right? Who you should really allow more influence or less influence as a result, amongst other things. And as always, I think it's something you're very much so going to be looking forward to. All right. Because you have Saturn in that 9th house opposite your Virgo sun, it may be difficult dealing with any doubt from others or hate, but now you're going to be producing the results of your work. And this is going to not only shift, who you feel at home hustling with, building this value with, but it's going to seek to transform the philosophy around your beliefs because of this direct application of your new mastered skills and how you're actually expressing and presenting them. All right. So that seems to be body. Okay. Let's see. Oh, nice. It took that. Yeah. Much appreciated, bro. So next, of course, we do have Michelle. So we know that you have, of course, your Sun, Pluto, Mars, and Mercury in Virgo, and you have the 29-degree Cancer rising with the Pisces moon, the divine master. All right. Uranus being 8 degrees on your Libra 3rd house, I think relative to you is going to make this exceptionally unconventional. And I think this might be unique to those of you born in 1968 to 1972, 1971, give or take, where Uranus is exactly on this south node, right? So the unlocking of this, one as a late Cancer rising, puts most of your 1st house in Leo. So Aries is going to be majority 9th house, but your MC is still in Aries. So the North Node lesson is unlocking your original success. And what is aligned with this? Healing, because you have Chiron on your MC. So healing is aligned with your legacy. Even if you're not officially like a nurse or a doctor, there's going to be an original raw healing of one's identity and authenticity whenever people deal with you. All right. So now that we have this eclipse happening on your IC on Uranus, That's what's going to account for a super unconventional and innovative quality with how you express your social skills towards others and how you will resituate comfort zones with the 29-degree fourth house cusp that will be squaring Pluto that's exactly on your DC. So as Pluto will be going direct this season on your seventh house cusp, it's going to have you move forward with how you are harvesting much more power and direction with other people. And I love that this is you healing your family. I love that because this is on your IC of family. And because it's next to your Virgo sun, this can also unconventionally add to the value and the money that you will be coming into relative towards what you're worth, what your family is worth, how this adds value to your family. But I cannot shake that with Uranus here. There's going to be an unpredictable and unconventional element of how quickly you're going to come into success. All right. I do have an ultimate manifestation playlist, by the way. So for anyone who wants to take advantage of that, you will come into amazing results practicing this. But yeah, I cannot shake the feeling that Uranus being, of course, a part of this is going to innovate this. Like the new moon is going to be next to your personal Uranus. So it's going to add this cycle of innovation in the way you're going to be manifesting partnerships. And because this falls in the third house, it's going to innovate your attitude and your social skill set. Of course, what kind of value you come into bridging these partnerships. We want to remember, though, the North Node is right near your MC. So this is going to unlock success you are destined to achieve before next year, where the North Node actually moves forward, shout out to Letitia, into Pisces, unlocking your soul, preparing a nodal return. So I forgot you were chosen by destiny, preparing a nodal return and getting ready to fulfill the mission you started 20 years prior. So a lot to look forward to. You're going through a Venus return right now, and Saturn is on your transit Uranus, and Neptune is opposite that. So this is also going to really transform the psychoanalytical potential you have towards realistically like fully integrating the development of this. The new moon is also going to activate an unlocking of how much more skilled you are relative to all this integration and development you've put in. Especially, I feel like your healing is automatic. It's going to really innovate how much more potent just the actions you take create healing. Where if you ever had to do Reiki on people, now you're just opening the door and entering the room heals people. Like there's potency to your force and mastery with your will that's going to really facilitate so much more development, so much more growth. Saturn is close to your moon. So, you know, now that you've had the opposition, this is doing well for personal finances as well, and being able to come into greater trust with the right people accordingly. All right. So this was a beautiful, beautiful transit and monthly peace report. Thank you guys very much. I definitely enjoyed this. You guys stay blessed as always. I hope you enjoy this I Told You So tour part 2. This is for you to harvest and to really reap what it is you've sowed.